More than class, what is needed is devoting time and studying.
That is always
That
there actually. Class
yeah,
gives basically the
for guiding.
insight. I
Yeah.
mean, one excitement basically you get connected, and then you try to get something idea basically ki where and what is going on
Exactly.
and what to do. Something get that way connected. So class is very important that way.
Yeah.
Did you fill the feedback form last time?
Yes, sir. I filled.
You have filled. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, वो बाद में एक ये आया था, WhatsApp पे लिंक आया था. I could not fill during the class, but I got a link on WhatsApp. वो
So
मैं
that time you filled. Okay.
सर ये presentations का एक बार वो भेज दीजिएगा सर. Different
Presentation I will share with you all, and I have requested other faculties also who are not very hesitant. They can also share their presentation, because few feels ki that is not needed. Basically, that's okay. It's their viewpoint, and we can't do much. So,
Yeah.
but whatever I get, I will share with you people.
Yeah. Actually, सीमा मैम का जो सब्जेक्ट है ना,
हाँ,
HR स्ट्रैटेजी एंड उसका मेरे को थोड़ा सा चाहिए, बिकॉज वो
सीमा मैडम तो आपने बात नहीं किया, वो शेयर नहीं करना चाहती हैं.
ओ अच्छा, देन ठीक है, फाइन. इफ शी इज रिलक्टेंट देन आई डोंट वांट टू फोर्स her.
During the class you should note it down and
ना ना, दैट तो वी डू, बट कई सारी चीजें सर वो मतलब थोड़ा सा रिव्यू के लिए ना, इट्स बेटर
वो
इफ
आप मेरे YouTube चैनल पे जाएंगे.
हाँ हाँ.
So that is immediately loaded. I have sent to
That's what I
ISTD
do.
headquarter also, and I wish they will be loading it.
Okay, fine.
So there you can see those classes. So in class, if you see, there are PPT which are displayed. So you can make out.
Sure, I'll do that.
Right, I think we'll start.
Yeah, we can start.
Good morning, ladies and one gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning,
Right?
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Priyanka Chauhan, good morning.
Sir, good morning.
How are you?
Sir, I'm better.
Good. I'm also good. Have you seen my Facebook update?
Sir, I have not seen.
Okay. No problem. So today in instructional design, besides revision, we will talk about transfer of learning. Right? And this is the last class, 6th one. And if you see, I mean, for simplicity, since beginning, I am talking about few of the points, which again I will try to emphasize, because Arno Sen Gupta, welcome. Are you getting? Or you are busy in having tea? Tea, this is called tea break, no? Before lunch. So you all can sit at home and have tea. But you can switch on your video and audio if your internet permits, and you can be interactive. Because I personally feel you all are trainer, and if this is the online way we are going to live our life, in the days to come, we must get used to of all these, right?
Yes, sir.
So make sure your positions and infrastructure, this laptop or desktop, whatever you are using, or whatever mobile and other things you are using, and all are well connected and all are giving you the optimum and effective performance, right? So that you must keep testing in between. So whenever you feel like talking also, please unmute yourself and speak. So transfer of learning is the last class. And if we remember, we all started with introduction to the course coverage.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jitender.
Atul here, sir.
Oh, Atul. Jitender
Yes, sir.
also came, so I thought he responded. Atul, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You can switch on your
I'm
video.
switching on, sir. I'm going to another room. Give me a second.
Okay. Because that will also set your background, because it takes a lot of time. Like suppose if you see my background, it has taken a lot of time actually, and every time I try to improve a bit and try to find out. So you will find the ISTD calendar here, I mean, which has been recently replaced. I don't know many of you have noticed it or not noticed. So as a diploma in charge, this ISTD calendar is here in my office.
Okay. Yes,
So,
I
sir,
can
as
see
a
that.
diploma student, we have to fix up some the chart where the books are showing up like this.
Jitender, you are good.
ये खत्म होने वाली है.
So if you see the instructional design, I have divided just to simplify this. If you remember, in all the class, I repeated again and again about this. It all started from the TNA, TNI, training need analysis. And then we talked about the model framework approaches, right? And then we moved to linkage of TNA with the training design. And if you remember why I generally, I mean, I emphasized on this, Redmi. I don't know, Redmi is with us. Good afternoon, Redmi. Who is in Redmi?
It's a handset name, sir.
Yeah,
It's a handset name.
handshake name.
Handset. It's a mobile name. Redmi.
That is okay. But who is behind Redmi? Anyway, hopefully we'll come to know shortly.
Manu
Redmi.
Kumar. Is he
Huh?
Manu Kumar? Manu Kumar.
Manu Kumar.
He's the CEO for Redmi.
No. Who is
But it's
No.
here
okay.
in Redmi? I mean, he has just given the name. I
Okay. So sorry.
have connected Redmi in this session. He is one of the participants. So I was just trying to welcome him and try to see who is he. But in my class, what I have seen, because I keep a watch on this, one or two people come in the.
Sir, Redmi is Shreya Chauhan. Actually, I was not able to connect, so I uninstalled the app and again installed. Then I was able to connect.
Okay.
Shreya Chauhan. Yeah, that is.
Priyanka Chauhan?
No, Shreya. SHRIYA.
SH
RI.
RIYA.
Shreya Chauhan.
You are from?
I'm from Noida chapter.
Shreya from Noida chapter.
Yes, sir. I have received so many mails also from your end, and I have also given you many mails regarding
No problem.
classes. I have received in mail. Shreya Chauhan 66@gmail.com. That is my mail ID.
That's fine. There is a Priyanka Chauhan also.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Priyanka Chauhan is already there. And then we have today another Sharma, I believe. She attended the first class. Kalpana Sharma.
Kalpana. And she has not this. I think this is not her first class. She has attended classes before as well, sir.
No, she came in the first class.
Acha, okay, okay.
Today she came in the first class. But till now she has not come. So
Okay, okay.
that's okay. If you see the instructional design, I have tried to simplify basically in a very known terms. So that you all feel very conversant about the whole topic. And then I have tried to explain why this instructional design today you are studying separately as a subject, as a paper. And it all started with the TNA and TNI. I mean, if you remember, that's what we did. And then we tried to connect why the TNA and TNI was not good enough. So we gave instructional design, why the term design came in the picture. Can anybody recall and explain few of the things? Why instructional design, this topic came in the picture? Because that is very important to understand this paper 2 itself. So I hope if somebody can explain, I mean, just to clarify. Atul, it will be a good time for you to explain instructional design, why we moved from TNA, TNI to instructional design. Because you have designed very nicely on the background, few good plans. Yes, go ahead.
I think I need to just understand this question first. Your question is that how do we move from TNA to TNI and then to instructional design?
Yeah.
Is that your question?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the question.
So in instructional design, it's my idea when we do TNI, TNA, TNI, we understand, the basic requirement, basic need, and how is that what is that it is required.
Why I'm
in that.
asking, because TNA, TNI is a very common. I mean, it was going on for a long time. If
Yes.
you have done management courses or even done any training courses,
Yeah.
you will find TNA and TNI was very common for analyzing anything training need. You go ahead with the TNA and TNI. TNA and TNI was common. But as I spoke and explained you in the beginning, first few classes, how TNA and TNI got connected or converted to instructional design. What was the need actually? So that is the question.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
okay. So
Let-
I think,
Hello,
yes, sir.
Priyanka is speaking.
Yes, sir.
Let Atul finish first.
Okay.
I'm just still thinking over. Let me come up with my point. In the meanwhile, Priyanka, you can speak.
Okay. So
You started with the TNA and TNI. So why it moved to instructional design? Just tell. Atul?
I think instructional design has more of modern approach and
Modern approach. Okay.
and I mean, I remember that we were always doing TNA, TNI a long time ago. It is cost effective and it is more efficient when it comes to learning.
Okay.
And they can be customized for different people. It is customized, I think. These are the few points that are coming into my mind. I don't know how correct they are.
Right. I think Priyanka, now it is your turn, please.
Okay, so in addition to what Atul has just said, for my understanding, like this has come into the existence because nowadays, like this, like if we go, if we see that there is a lot of digital disruptions. So nowadays, the I think the training design also has to be developed in coordination with the kind of technology or the tools we have. So I think this is more into that direction, I believe.
Absolutely. You are very, very close to what I think we try to explain. And this is very important because to answer the questions, whether in assignments or in exam for instructional design, you must be very clear about this, why we moved from TNA, TNI to instructional design, and why we use the word design. So if you remember in, one class, I specifically emphasized on design, training design, basically. And I try to explain why this design and how can you in today's world connect with, when you want to do training analysis or you want to evaluate the training need, how the design is needed. And design is needed because we live in a world which is basically the Google world. From my point of view, I call it Google world we live in, and Facebook or Twitter world we live in. That's why I try to emphasize, keep giving you some input, how these things have changed or changing our perceptions on a day-to-day basis. And that's how we must think of whenever we do any analysis or identification or make the training program, we must think of design, and that will give little close to what we need to do actually. So anybody else want to contribute? Jitender?
Yes, sir.
You would like to add something?
Sir, whatever I
Instructional
understand,
design.
instructional design is the creation of learning experience in the material of whatever we expect from the result, in terms of result, the application of knowledge and skills. And it also includes the practical and systematic process of designing effective curriculum as per the training parameters.
No, just focus on why we moved to instructional design. The word instructional design. What was the necessity? What was not earlier before 90, or what came after 90? Something like you can think of by 1990, basically, because this design concept emerged and slowly grew after 1990 actually. And people started emphasizing on, no, we should have a design and we should have instructional design, we should have a training design or something, like the people started talking. And that's how we have introduced in 2020. We are studying in training.
Sir, the major reason of behind this to move instructional design, it is cost effective. It is cost effective, and it is also that ensures the student to learn efficiently by creating high quality learning.
Okay.
I think I'm sorry to step in between, but is it also because the cognitive learning design model was also introduced in 1990? I don't know. I read it somewhere. I don't know where.
So cognitive learning is going on, I think, for long
No,
time.
there was a structured model that was given.
Structured model. As Priyanka mentioned, one word is digital disruptions.
Yeah.
I think the way after 1990, if you remember, many of you are, too young, you may not remember what was in 1990. In 1990, when the Microsoft came out with the first, suppose, Windows, and Windows 95, which became very famous, if you remember. And Windows 95 ruled for next 10 years actually. And Windows ruled the world. up to some extent. And that's how Bill Gates, the CEO of Microsoft, became the richest person on earth. And it all happened because everybody wanted Windows on their PC and laptop. And that digital thing happened in spite of whatever and whichever profession we were in. And that's how you see the digital thing became very, very essential and important part of the whole training process, whole learning process. And without digital, we, I mean, it started becoming like, without digital, we can't think of anything. Today also, suppose it has kept on increasing. It didn't restrict to like Windows or desktop or laptop. These disruptions kept on happening. And till today also, when I am talking to you and you are attending this class on instructional design, this digital disruption is taking place all around us. And without fail, these disruptions are becoming part of our life. When this is becoming part of our life, we cannot sustain with the words which we have been using, suppose in 70s or 80s. So that's how the TNA and TNI kind of thing lost its significance. And then we started talking about the training design or instructional design, because we saw how the Google designed their page. And Google was the very ideal, I mean, iconic actually. And initially nobody thought of just a page with the one explorer kind of thing will become so famous. And as you know, in last 10-15 years, Google is one of the most successful company in the world, and it's sustained. And even today, when we are talking about further, I mean, it has not stopped here, please remember. And we are talking about AI, we are talking about robotic, and we are talking about analytics, HR analytics. And when we are talking about all these, please remember the most significant factors which are there. The design has become very simple so that the new people who get conversant with the digital information, they get used to and they get comfortable with those things. And they're what we need to think of. So we need to not only do the analysis, we do the training program, but we need to ensure the people understand, people are able to connect with the need, people are able to connect with whatever is happening around us. Like suppose when we discussed about the HR analytics and other, if you see there in that syllabus also, in course material also, which you will be studying in the third semester, I mean, mainly we talk about how the Facebook and Twitter have changed the way we accumulate data or information, or we change the behavior. We analyze the behavior of the people, because that is what in the days to come, most probably it is going to happen like this. So we need to talk about the design. We need to talk about prepare the design. So that what we discussed. And if you remember, we talked one by one, and we discussed how the TNA moved to training design. And then we talked about the training design, and then training objectives. Whenever you suppose talk about or prepare for instructional design, so you must have objectives. And then finally, development of training or development, that is what we discussed in the last class. And today we are talking about transfer of learning or transfer of training. So that is the way it moved. So any question, suppose either in assignments or in exam, related to instructional design comes, you are required to cover these things. And then suppose general question also comes. Suppose government want to do the training analysis and identify the training needs. You are required to talk in those terms. You are required to talk in terms like digital disruptions which have really taken place around us, and not only taken place in, suppose 90s it took place, or in 2000 first decade or second decade it took place. Now we are entering in the third decade of 21st century. Digital disruptions are going to be part of our life. Don't think this much has happened and only Zoom has come and we are happy with it. No, you are going to get more such applications in the days to come, and more such surprises. And few of the surprises, I think I have already talked in my previous classes, because I love to address those surprises, so that in future when you become a trainer, you are not surprised by those surprises. However, as a unlearned guru, I would like to tell you, keep have you have built an ability to keep unlearning those things, because the previous thing, the old thing, is not going to be with you all the time. Even the old ideology, old equipment, old devices, old methodologies, lot of them have to be left behind, and we have to talk about the new things, new development. That is the way anyone, even in the learning thing, when it came, like that is what we discussed. Whenever you learn new things, you try to acquire new knowledge, you forgo basically the old one, and that is how you overlap, you forget the old one. But invariably this unlearning, because it has not become systematic, so we keep carrying on, and lot of people carry on those baggages. But only the smart people and intelligent people who understands this, the meaning of true learning, because unlearning has to take place, they are able to take advantage of those new learnings. And that is the way in the days to come it has to happen. So whenever you think of instructional design, you must have this system: move from TNA, TNI, connect with the instructional design or training design, and then think about the writing about training objectives, development of training, and then finally transfer of training. So that is the way we have evolved to this stage, when today we are talking about transfer of learning. And just to simplify, to understand this paper itself, paper 2, instructional design, I mean, you see the classes which have been divided, and I have simplified in a very simple terms, starting from TNA, TNI to training design, and then we talked about the training objective, we talked about the development of training, how the development of training takes place, and today we are going to talk about the transfer of learning, transfer of training, and that is the way it has to move, right? Any question? Are you getting?
Flow chart. Okay.
No, sir.
Atul?
Yes, sir. I'm
Anything?
reading this. Not right now. I'll ask my questions in between if I have
Okay.
any. Yeah.
Thank you. So last time also I showed this
Flow chart.
flow chart, this action plan, and how it moves, starting from TNA. Identify and analyze training needs. Identify training needs of participants. analyze training need, categorize training need as information, knowledge, skills, and values. I think that is what in the development of training, when I discussed last class, if you remember, I talked about the 4 significant outcomes, and those are in terms of information, knowledge, competencies or skills, and then attitude and values. So whenever we plan any instructional design, or we develop the training design, we develop the training program, we must make sure all these 4 important things should be imparted, or should be the real outcome of any training. So then we set out the objectives of the training. So what are the objectives of training? So that, why we set objectives of training? Because we should set some standard about it. This is what the objective of training. So that's how for any training you write about the different objectives. And then we identify program contents, set out topics and areas to be covered. That what we discussed in the development of training in the last class. And then basically break the content into subtopics and modules, and classify modules as information, knowledge, skills, and values. And in development of training, we discussed about these things. And now finally, when we are talking about the transfer of learning, transfer of training, we are little bit focus on some new things, like what are the training methods, as it is mentioned in the below flowchart. If you see the training methods, and then allocate time, material and equipment required, what are the resources required, and then allocate responsibilities to the people, so that we have the system of transferring this. And that is what today we are going to discuss mainly, starting from training methods, allocate time, material and equipment required, and then allocate responsibilities. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for transfer of learning, once the development of training has taken place, you have developed the topic, content, and modules basically. So now you decide about the training methods and techniques, how you want, what are the methods you want to apply to transfer that content, transfer that information, or transfer that knowledge, how you want that competencies or skill which are part of your training program should be covered. And that is how we should keep doing it. So, and then, because everything, I mean, we can't keep doing one thing and just forget about others. So we have to allocate time to different model, different paper. And that is the way I think any courses, if you remember, you must have done so many courses, and you are still doing the ISTD course. What I always connect with, you see here, everything is decided at every level. I mean, somebody has decided about there will be the paper 9 paper in this, and after that there will be the project work, and then all 9 papers, the first 6 semester will cover this, and then next 6 months will cover this. And then for the every paper you find there are different instructors, trainers, and then for every paper you are given 1.5 hours on Sunday to cover that syllabus. So allocate time. So this is the way. I mean, you can see any instructional design when you frame, you are required to connect with the existing one what you all go through, and then explain and write. So whenever either you write in your assignment paper or in exams, don't get very frustrated or perturbed. You are given a question which is quite general. Suppose government wants to improve the effectiveness of some department. What are the training they can plan, and can you plan the training program? So suppose something like question comes in your exam like this, so you should not get perturbed, and you should think of whether it is asking about the development of training, objectives of training, or transfer of training. And if not very clear what are they asking for, you can start from TNA to move to transfer of learning and talk about things. So allocate time, and then you discuss about the decide on support material, facilities and equipment. Here also, suppose paper 2 is decided, you all are attending, suppose paper 2, you have to decide about the support material, facilities and equipment. What are there with you, and how can you make the best use of your resources? So further determine assignments for members of the training team. And here also, like I spoke about the trainer in paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, we have decided the different members and given them the assignments for the training team. Then delegate responsibilities for management and administrations. I mean, if you see the all the class, when the Zoom class is conducted, I mean, either the guy has been made as a diploma in charge, me myself, and then I try to have the management responsibility as well as the administration responsibility. I'm supposed to ensure every class gets started in time and then finish also in time, so that you can get the relaxation in between to start with the next class. So all these things is basically in transfer of learning also is taking place. So you can always connect with the established one and establish mechanism for monitoring and evaluation. So that's how we see we have the feedback mechanism. And I request you all, by the end of this fourth class, I try to give some link where you give the feedback for the today's program. So it's all monitoring and evaluation mechanism. This is the way even transfer of learning, if you see in your own case, live case, I mean, that is the way it has happened. And we talk about, and this is the same thing what we have been discussing about, you are required to write in your exams without getting perturbed about what the general question have asked, whether my trainer has explained these things or not. But I think I have explained you general things, and that suffice the purpose. For anybody gives any question, any kind of question, you should be in a position to answer and answer the best. And I'm sure all those who have attended this Noida chapter class will be able to answer in one of the finest way, basically, because very few, even trainer, I find instructors, they talk very relevant and current things. Most of the people, they take out some Google old PPT and old information and content which have not much significance. Not many are able to. We generally, I mean, I don't blame you, you people individually, but not many have a that capacity to find out whether somebody is talking futuristic or not, whether somebody is talking good or not. And we all have seen, I mean, this is the way in society the information and wisdom moves. I mean, for everything it is happening like this. Even we see the farmers protest which are going on. Government is doing, I mean, such a good thing, basically trying to take the farmers away from jackals. But there is another force who are basically misguiding farmers and trying to tell them. And if you go and ask many farmers, they say they don't know who is guiding them, who is controlling them. And how many of us knows even China is suppose our enemy, and they might misguide us. And they would love to create a disturbance in the country. And the similar thing suppose might have happened in 62, but how many of you remember, how many of us can remember and connect? So we don't know. I mean, so many things are happening around us. We all might be busy with our own job or profession, and we don't know what is happening. So it is important that for us to understand what is right and develop a capacity to build, at least to know what could be the better thing, what could be the good thing. And that is not very difficult. You can see very few successful people basically in the overall scenario. And they take chances. Few successful people, they do things year after year. It's not a one. Last time also I spoke about these. The talents and skills are not very omnipresent thing which are available. You can get, I mean, develop a capacity or build a capacity or capability to recognize those talents. And that is what will make you the real trainer and real manager or real leader in society. And when, even when you talk about the training, when you are doing things, if you are doing with the current information, relevant information, and futuristic information, I think you will be able to achieve things much better. And that is what I think we are required to focus on. We are not we should not require to focus on the word and particular points. That is okay, that can give you some guidance, but ultimately you must develop those things. That's how in the beginning I spoke about how the TNI moved to instructional design, because that concept should be there. You should know the become digital is not the choice up to some extent. We all have to become digital. Unfortunately, we have the Prime Minister who used lockdown so nicely. Basically, he made he made almost compulsory for every minister to go online and do things. And today, in what such an hostile situation, when we all are attacked by the virus, coronavirus, including me, you will find, thanks to this online mechanism which has developed, and we are able to still get connected and do things, sitting at home in our protecting ourselves, and then still doing things what we all want to do. And you must take this as an opportunity. You must avail this opportunity to understand, and then try to build a capacity to recognize right things and futuristic things. Right? Any question? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So once you are clear about that process, you should decide on training methods and techniques. So training method and technique in cognitive, as Atul Gupta mentioned about cognitive also. So there also you study about those methods, training methods and techniques, and that is what I think we need to decide for the transfer of learning also, whether it has to be a lecture as a method of training, case study method. You see, in this, when I talk about the lecture, I remember you all also must have, you all are trainer, you must have come across the the cone of knowledge, how it gets transferred. So lecture has been put on the top of it. You remember this a cone kind of thing like this, and lecture has been put here, and lecture says only 5% information gets transferred through lecture. So this was supposed to be the very old one, but lecture is supposed to be very prevalent. We all have become knowledgeable just because of lectures. Even in school, there is no other way. There is no, I mean, online or vocational courses or anything like. If you remember, in a school, the teacher used to come and they used to just give a lecture on history, lecture on science, lecture on maths, and lecture with lecture we got knowledge, we got information, we got a skill, and that cannot be just 5%. So that figure which is floating in the training circle, you will find they are not connected, they are not relevant, and a lot of people have talked against that cone kind of thing. So there are various methods and all have its own significance, like case study method. This also became very famous because most of the MBA courses, if you see, there we try to emphasize on the case study method is the best thing. I mean, there could be some priority, but for everything, you cannot keep talking about the case study and you can achieve things. But yes, that is also one of the method, training method. Role play as a method of training. There could be a role play as a method of training. So for different role, suppose you are getting trained as a mechanic, or you are getting trained as a sales executive. There could be a role play as a method of training, and that is also very effective one. There could be a management games. I think we can have some games, management game, and then achieve the training objectives to some extent. We can have a group discussion as a method of training. And group discussion, when we talk about group discussion, serves so many purposes. It helps you to understand the other members in the group. It helps you to lead the group. I mean, when you see, it's not very easy to write, it is not very easy to speak, it is not very easy to communicate, but this group discussion is a very important way of doing a training. And in group discussion, we see there could be a various ways and means. So a lot of companies also, if you see, they resort to this group discussion as a method of training to recruit people or enhance the knowledge, enhance the knowledge. So that is the way it is done. And in sophisticated way, you see the panel discussion also takes place. In most of the conference and seminar, what happens around us, you see the panel discussion takes place. Even Noida chapter organized the panel discussion on an important topic. Last month, we organized a topic on gender equality. I don't know, any of you have attended the session, and mainly we had a panel discussion kind of thing where we had two important speaker experts supposed to be expert on that, and they have done some courses, and they were there. along with one moderator who is having experience from the industry. They talk about this, and thus we had this. Similarly, next Sunday again, I would like to remind you all, next Sunday again, we have one such panel discussion on a very important topic called B2B, the modern techniques of B2B tricks, right? So if you are interested in this, certainly I would invite you all to, and I will send you the link also. So next Sunday it is at 3 p.m. You all can join, organized by Noida Chapter, ISTD Noida Chapter, and you should be the part of this. Then we can have a brainstorming, and brainstorming word is very famous. So to impart the training, I mean, brainstorming could be a very important process methods. The field trip as a method of training, what we call visit visit to the factory, visit to the sites, visit to the field, and see the things which are happening around us, and experience how the people work. Suppose we want a manufacturing kind of thing, process kind of thing, we can go to somewhere in factories and see how the manufacturing takes place. And that's how initially, if you see, we always get interested in going to factories and see. Not nowadays, because we all stay in big cities and in a locality where only this service sectors are there, and even the coding, I mean, companies with coding facilities and telephone, like call facilities and all those things. But if you see some manufacturing company, I mean, you will find that gives you the separate experience how the things are manufactured and how the people work in the in those cycle. Either cement manufacturing company, if you see, or fertilizer manufacturing company. I don't know many of you have seen it or not, but if you see there, you will find there are different kind of manufacturing, and there are different kind of work culture exists over there, and you can have those experience also in the training. So today, I mean, when government, I mean, I I did my electronics engineering in 1985, around 35 years back. I mean, for last 35 years, I was surprised why electronics industries are not coming up in this country. And I'm very happy today to suppose announce you people as well. In 5 6 years back, there were only two mobile manufacturing company in the country, only two companies. And today uh, so many things have changed actually, and I'm happy to tell you or inform you, today there are 100 plus mobile manufacturing company in the country, and all leading company. We talk about Samsung, we talk about Sony, we talk about Apple, we talk about Intel is still planning to come. They have opened a manufacturing plant here in the country. For automobiles as such, they have opened their manufacturing plant. But for this mobile phones, it's a very new significant change. And you all must have heard about the Apple problem which came, and people created in a city like Bangalore, in the factory, the people created nuisance, and you will be surprised when it was coming in the Apple manufacturing, and that's how you come to know Apple have started manufacturing their iPhone here in India. So they started manufacturing, and when the disturbance came and such thing happens, then we come to know from the news. because that is the way our newspaper and media works. When the serious problem comes, then only we come to know. And similarly, like nobody knew Baba Ramdev when he was doing great things, but when one leader came out with there is a bone in the product of Baba Ramdev, it came in the front page of all media, all print media and other media channel, and Baba Ramdev became famous overnight. But Baba Ramdev as such was there, and he is doing a great things without even becoming famous or not becoming famous. Similarly, Apple, they are manufacturing mobile phones in the country for last many years, and today it had to face such problems. And I was surprised to see they claim they lost the infrastructure or devices costing 430 crores in this disturbance, and that's how it came in the news. And you see, so many people talk about, because manufacturing plant, when we talk about either Samsung or Apple or any such thing, and a lot of other manufacturing companies are also coming to India, and they are coming from China, because they understand that China is a very closed economy and they are not very fair people, and the China leadership are very deceptive and hidden, and they don't disclose anything. They gave virus to the world, but they have not talked about the vaccine till date. While America is the country who talked about, they gave a vaccine to the world. So China gave problem to the world, while America gives solution for the world, and that's how we create a problem. This Apple problem also could be the communist related problem, and communist could be like a curse to humanity. We in 90 we saw the what we call Berlin Wall, German Wall have been devastated. The USSR collapsed in 90s and 30 years back, but still you will find the communist becoming the ideology which many English educated individuals or professionals, especially when we study English, we are brainwashed with basically the communistic ideology so severely in our education system, and we fall prey to their traps. And this Apple incidents actually near Bangalore, we can't imagine a Bangalore there could be a disturbance like this, but it has happened. Because I have been to Bangalore, I don't know many of you have seen Bangalore. Supposed to be the very peaceful organization where the Infosys like company came and they became famous in the world when the problem of 2K arise in 90s, and that's how the Infosys became rich and famous across the world, even though they could not produce any good product, original product, but they did in the service area, they did miracle, and they could make, I mean, lakhs of people, I don't know, millions of people or lakhs of people, basically rich and millionaire in this country. So that is the way it has happened. So manufacturing is one of the great thing, and you all also should plan to visit whenever you get an opportunity.
मेरा तो half an hour का मिलेगा break.
Yeah, right. And finally, there could be a demonstration kind of thing. Sudeep, you want to say something?
No, sir. Sorry, mic was left on. I am so sorry.
I could see your mic is.
Yeah. Actually, my wife came. She started talking. I didn't realize that mic was on. Sorry.
No problem. So it's okay. Anything anybody has? Move to the next slide. So now we talk about the allocate time. So different training methods, the same training methods you studied in paper 3 as well, where you talk about the cognitive learning, and these methods you study in detail there also. But here in the process of learning, you can use those narratives, actually what you have studied in paper 3, or what Gupta ji has told you about, like Atul Gupta becoming active Gupta, and Jitender becoming joyful, right? So those
Yeah.
narratives also can be used here in this all this process of transfer of learning. Then we talk about the allocate time. When we have decided about the topics, contents, and modules, and this is the time when we allocate time. So for any training you plan, I mean, you must allocate the time, and that allocation of time has to be based on the how tough the topic is and how much you want to devote on this. And that you see every trainer, whether I analyze, I do TNI, I make the content, I make the module, I make the sub module. I mean, I as an author or creator or trainer, I mean, it is me who decides about the time, what time frame is needed to be given to particular module or particular exercise or particular activities. And that is the way we do it. It's a serious academic exercise, and we should always, we should not take it lightly. You all are going to be a trainer, and you all should make sure you learn this trick, learn this skill, basically how to allocate the time. So give more time to the important things and give less time to the trivial things and unimportant things. But understanding this important things and unimportant things requires a lot of knowledge and courage. And if you see, it's not very simple. It's not very simple. And that is what we need to focus on. Rupesh, welcome. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Good
We were missing you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now
Good
we
afternoon.
are at the stage of allocate time. So this is a serious academic exercise.
Okay,
Time
okay.
is allocated depending upon the priorities and relevance of the topic. So you should give, and time allocation infuses discipline and establish a control mechanism. So
Yeah.
time allocation is very, very important. So you as a trainer, you must develop a capacity or a skill to understand the important things and unimportant things. And that's how you will be able to make the training program very effectively. And you will be able to allocate time, what is required. And time is allocated depending upon the priorities and relevance of the topic. And that is what we need to do all the time. You see, me as an author, I am an author also. Suppose I have written a book, 400 pages, 400 pages explaining the unknown topic like unlearning was not very simple affair. I took months together. I have done research for years together, basically, to decide on what are the topics to be covered, which topic is to be given more priority than others, and that's how it can give the value when the people are reading it. And I'm quite happy. I mean, till today, it's more than 15 years past, because in around 2005 I wrote the book, and today, after getting a lot of awards for the book also, including I have got the best book award from ISTD itself. I find that topic is so relevant, and every day it gives me pleasure and satisfaction how relevant it could be, basically, for the even futures, in even futures to come. So it's always relevant. So that is the way we need to keep working on, and make things relevant. So it's not very easy, but we need to develop a capacity to 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 we need to have a skill where we understand what is important and what is unimportant. And you will not believe, I as a individual, or I as a profession, I gave enough time. I spent months together to decide. I spent years together to decide what are the relevant topic, and I'm still doing it every day. Whenever I organize such class or I interact with the people, I conduct some program, I try to emphasize on and try to find out what are important and what are unimportant, where the time should be given and where the time should be given less. And that is what you all as a trainer, you need to enhance this skill, develop this skill, and then you become the good trainer, which you all dream to become actually. So that is the way you must try to develop and become, right? Any question? No question? Rupesh?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm just connecting. So,
Okay. So now next point, once we allocate the time for the module and content, we
yeah.
decide about the support material, facilities and equipment. And when we talk about the support materials, facilities and equipment, even if suppose in your book, in your reference book, they are talking Devendra Agochia or Janaki Ram, they talk about suppose uh, computer-less statement actually up to some extent, or
Right, sir.
internet-less statement, or in other terms we talk about the not online activities they discuss about. But in your case, when you write, when you think as a trainer in today's terms, you must absorb and try to accumulate what are the resources which you have at hand. It should not happen like I have seen a lot of people, they have the mobile in their pocket, but when you tell them have they seen Facebook, they say no, I don't do such things, it's the waste of time. What I am telling, how can they understand something as a waste of time if they are not using it? The topic, like is something like somebody suppose could not become doctor, so they say, oh, doctor is nothing. Study is not as tough as the study of teachers training. Something like they talk about. So we should not talk like this. We should basically, when we are using suppose mobile, when you are using internet, when you are having iPhone, you must have the capacity to understand those are the need of the hour for you, and it may be for the other people as well. So that is the way you should try to capture the information. So when we talk about decide on the support material, facilities and equipment, you must remember everything what you have at the moment Suppose you have the mobile phone, you have the desktop, you are using Zoom, you are using internet, you are using resources. All these things should be the part of your training material. So even for the reading material, learning guides and assignment sheets, others, if you see, even like we conduct in ISTD, we conduct a class. If you see that also in soft form, feedback form. I mean, I have been extending to you, I have been sending to you. You also fill the form online and give it to us. Similarly, reading material and learning guides, if you see, we conduct on PPT, and then we have all those reading materials. I send you the email for the information, and there I try to write. Similarly, we try to organize the conference on Zoom again for the benefits of all ISTD Noida chapter people and the people across, I mean, who are connected with the training and development ISTD across the world, across India, and even across the world. Because I remember last seminar when we conducted, the people from Israel attended, people from Egypt came and attended the program, what we conducted at Noida. So that is the terms, that is the way we have to start thinking and keep doing it. And we have to keep leveraging basically those opportunities with us. So attendance sheet, handouts, journals, booklets, articles, feedback forms, all these supposed to be the part of support material. And you must see whether it can be online, offline resources. It can be on using a mobile. Similarly, desktop, laptop, internet, slide projectors, whiteboards, pens and duster. This whiteboard, pens and duster, we talk about the class. But here also we should think about, suppose even whiteboard, we could have online whiteboard. Here also we could have written here
Yeah.
something. And whiteboard,
Yes, sir.
like I could have, suppose that software is available with me, I could have written here something and communicated to you, and you could have seen this in the board. So that is the way, I mean, it resources can be discussed and can be created. Speaker and mic system, we all know. So this is the way we need support material for the transfer of learning. Yeah, anything, Rupesh?
No, right, sir. Understand. This is right.
Okay. So now the assignments for the members of the training team. So we must make sure the values of a trainer. Uh, Values of a trainer. The trainer must be positive. He must be in time. He must go off in time, and in time he should allocate the time so nicely to understand the important things and unimportant things. And he should be a role of a trainer. He should be a good planner and facilitation of learning process. You see, in my case, I I take this task very seriously. Facilitator of a learning process. I'm a trainer today. I'm a trainer tomorrow. You could be a trainer somewhere. I mean, we must be a facilitator in today's term. We should not think uh, the ultimate we have spoken and that is the end of it. If you remember, I talked about the few of people had like many of you might be having doubt ISTD course, what is the way it is happening. And if you remember in my last class 4-5 class, I have mentioned about the things keep changing. In your case the syllabus has changed. Can anybody say how many of you expect the new syllabus to come in how many years? Because this syllabus change which took place in your batch, basically, it came after 97. I remember 97, the last syllabus was changed. And from 97, it came to 2018 or something. So more than 21 or 2 years, the syllabus change took place. So still when I talk to the people, I mean, people say, there should be some change, sir, something should change. My question is, how many of you feel there should be a change, and how long it will take to change to the ISTD? You might be the ISTD student, but I'm telling you, you could become a driver of the change in ISTD after not attending my class, but yes, the way I try to impart training, you could be the instrument of the change. How many of you feel that there could be a change shortly? Anybody, please?
Yes, sir, definitely. In this fast changing scenario after pandemic and all that, the learning and training both, going to change drastically, as per my knowledge, because everything is, the technology and contents, everything is changing right now. Can we
No,
say?
I'm asking in ISTD,
Yeah.
how long you think the new syllabus? I mean, again, you will face the new syllabus. Tell
Maybe
me.
from next year, because this year definitely it was a a lot of changes are there in the learning process, because online learnings are more into in picture for the last 6-7 months.
Ah,
Many every training institute and this are implementing new online training courses, seminars, webinars, whatever. So definitely on that basis, ISTD also.
okay. I would like to tell you this change. Anybody has any other comment? Yes. Hello. So I would like to tell you the, latest. Yesterday only I have
Yes, sir.
received a mail from ISTD headquarters, and for your information, I would say this ISTD has already planned to change the syllabus, present syllabus, and it will happen from the next year. Absolutely right. Rupesh said?
84th batch.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not 84
Yes, sir.
batch.
84th batch.
84 batch might be starting with the old syllabus, but
Okay.
what we call they have mentioned 85 batch, and from 85 batch
Okay.
onwards, they are changing the entire syllabus.
Sir, how about 83rd batch?
Huh?
How about 83rd batch?
You people are still studying the old one. You see,
Old one.
word which is
You can
written,
read
I will just
the
read
86
it
batch
out.
again.
I have taken the printout. I will just read it out. One more subject for the present curriculum and revamping.
Okay.
The entire syllabus oblique course will be done from 85 batch onwards. So
Achha.
within such a short span of time, if you see, they are changing and they are using the word revamping. Entire syllabus oblique courses will be done. And for your information, it's the latest information. Still, it is not disclosed in a big way, but they are introducing the topic like innovation and change management. Can you understand?
Right, sir.
Now, innovation and change management. And the paper 9, which you people are studying, like learning / training analytics, that also they are changing and making it data analytics in training and development.
That means we will receive the information like MIS, data analytics.
It's a full topic. I mean, you see, content and module and sub-module will be decided subsequently. There are some experts.
So why you have not added in the 83rd batch, sir? हम लोग पुराने हैं इसलिए नहीं ऐड करेंगे.
At least you brought a change, and since from 85 onwards they are changing. And the elective paper also, which they have given, I think I am just reading it out. One topic is digital transformation in T&D. Digital transformation in T&D. I'm not sure what all they going to cover, but I wish, like in HR analytics, learning and training analytics, which I have taken class also sometime there. There they cover the Facebook only, Facebook and Twitter. In HR analytics, they just talk about the impact of Facebook in our society, impact of Facebook on professionals, and impact of Facebook on staff and in general the company's requirements. So when the new topic like digital transformation in T&D comes, I'm not sure what is the way they are going to develop the content. But yes, if I become the part of those development, if you see the development of training and other things, I will certainly try to visualize what the people need in 5 years time or 10 years time. And that's how, you see, I try to work on. And I wish the other people also who are at different leadership role or level should think accordingly. Right? Coming back to members of the training team, we talk about the competencies of the trainer: planning, communication, managing conflicts. And one of the important thing I said, distinguish between important and unimportant material, right? Then qualities of the trainer: he must be enthusiastic, he must have ability to work under pressure, and he must deliver it nicely. Yes, Jitender.
Sir, I just gone through the ISTD web page where that they are showing that information is floating on the web page that lifetime membership is going on. Lifetime membership.
Right,
what is about
right.
that lifetime membership? It is what does it means?
What is your age?
36.
36. It is
Yes,
a
sir.
golden opportunity offered to you by an institution. ISTD is not mine. ISTD is not yours.
Yes.
ISTD is an institution which are working for last, suppose, 30-40 years. It is offering you lifetime membership. So I will request all of you, 11, I think 9 people, 10 people are here in the class. You all can pay that 4,000 or something. It's just meager amount actually. Just 4,500 or something. You can pay and you become the life member for life. So till the time you survive, you remain the member of ISTD, and ISTD will keep updating you with the information and content for the training. So I will urge you all to become the life member. Immediately fill the form.
Sir, Verma sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Uh-huh.
My question is not about the money. My question is, what is the benefit to become a life member of ISTD? What is become in the future? Are as per my age and whatever my colleagues are there, like 8 or 9 colleagues are there. So as a point of in the future endeavors, what are the benefits to become a life member of ISTD?
What I understand, as a trainer, you become the member of a training institute.
Okay.
Institute which cares for the training and development, which talks about training and development. And you become the life member. Suppose tomorrow you are working in some different field, you are not involved with the training. No problem, you are life member. Suppose after 4 years you decide, no, I want to focus on training and development. Whether you work in any field, you work in sales, you work in operation, you work in a at a personal level. Like Sudeep Jaiswal, he is working at a personal level. Suppose there also he wants to focus on training. He can be the part of this institution. You can get involved in the various level. Like you can become member, you become secretary, you can become active member, you can organize programs with the ISTD banner and something
So
like
be as a
that you
lifetime
can do for
member.
lifetime.
As a lifetime member, we will receive the books and all study materials like we are receiving right now.
Yeah, you receive not books actually, but they give IJ magazine.
Journals.
General
Okay.
journal. So they will give you the journal throughout the life. It comes to me. I became life member in 2006. In 2005 I left Air Force. In 2006 I got such offer. That time I paid 6,000 rupees.
Okay.
You people are lucky. You are just paying 4,000 even after 15 years.
Due to pandemic COVID-19. Thank you, sir.
9,200 something.
For what?
The life membership fees is 9,200 something, including all the taxes and everything.
But they have reduced to 50%.
50% discount is there, is already floating.
But now discount is there, so only 4,000 something.
Check, it is just 4,500.
Form says 9,200. I just checked the form.
Hello.
In the form, it is written 9,200 something.
That's what I'm telling. It was 9,000, but today they are giving discount. They are giving you at the cost of 50% of the life membership fees.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Right? You all should become the member, and once you become life member, it is because you all are, undergoing this course. You are supposed to be the PG diploma in training and development, and if you remain one member of one institution for lifelong, I think anytime you may get connected, you may attach, you may work. So that is the advantage. Jitender, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So please try.
Yeah, sure.
And become the member and make others also member. Make your friend also member and try to make it.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Now coming to delegate responsibilities for management and administration. Reception of the participants on arrival. Whatever management and administration we talk about, suppose normal conduct classes, I think all these things matters. Living arrangement, if the residential program, assisting the training team in conducting program, arranging extracurricular activities and the social events, and reimbursement of expenses, arranging of return journey, and so on. So all these are administrative nature. Even like when we conduct class on Zoom, something like I always keep telling, let us see whether our audio or videos are working. We are able to communicate to each other and all those things. So all these administrations need to be monitored and watched, right? Monitoring and evaluation is very important, and we need to have some kind of evaluation and evaluation technique. An evaluation technique as such you study in one of the paper subsequently in the second semester also. But here for the time being, something like a pre-training evaluation, ongoing evaluation during the program, or end program evaluation, and then post-training evaluation. So we make the suppose form for all these things, activities: pre-training evaluation, ongoing evaluation during the program, end program evaluation, and then post-training evaluation. So then that is it's a good process of imparting a training. So that is the way it needs to be done, different stages, right? The focus on training should be like, when we talk about the transfer of training, it could be positive transfer, it could be zero transfer, or it could be negative transfer. So there, when we do evaluation also, we should see whether the training is effective. Training became effective. There is a positive transfer which are taking place, or there is a zero transfer which took place, or there is a negative transfer which took place. Suppose today I am happy, I mean, as a trainer for paper 2 or instructional design, or like I took some class on HR analytics. There also I had to literally fight with the participants when I had to tell them internet and online activities are going to be so important. They are going to be the something like a birthright for us. I mean, today our survival depend upon this. Our professional survival as well as personal survival becomes important. I mean, becomes essential basically on this online activities. So they are very important. So whether we talk about the HR analytics or we talk about the instructional design, if we see, we talk about the change which are going to come in the future. And I'm happy from the 85th batch onwards, they are changing the syllabus, they are changing the content, and they are revamping entire syllabus. That is what they are writing, an entire syllabus. So I will urge you all trainer to become the part of those change, the way it is expected, and that is the way it is to come. So I'm happy to be part of it. So I consider myself a part of this, and I keep trying. I mean, at a various level, I keep trying to make sure those changes takes place. Right? Factors influencing transfer of training is something like this. Conditions of practice. What are the conditions and how the conditions are there, and that's how we find the training takes place. The general principle, the training management needs general principle to handle different situations. So other factors to facilitate transfer of training, knowledge of results and goal setting. So something like this, we must make sure the transfer of knowledge or information, what we want to achieve, competencies we get. Right? I think this one or two slide I will discuss in the next last class, which we will have in January 10th. That is what we have planned, right? These 2-3 slides.
Right,
And I think I end here the today's class, because I think you already exhausted must be with my new kind of teachings. Right? Any question? So training design is, I consider it's a mind-boggling things, and it takes you or helps you to move towards the newness or freshness, the which are going to come in the days to come. Right? Any question?
right, sir.
Oh. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any question? No question? So then
Sir,
we
I
have
wanted
lunch.
to ask about that life membership thing.
Sudeep Jaiswal,
Yes, sir.
you have come back again, huh? Please.
I was always there, sir.
I know you were there.
I muted myself.
Please बताइए.
हाँ सर, वो लाइफ मेंबरशिप का ये पूछना था. जो फॉर्म है, इट हैज नॉट बीन चेंज्ड. फॉर्म में अभी भी 9,209 रुपीस दिखा रहा है.
No problem. I will send you people. I will send you the discount wala form.
Fine.
Right?
Right,
और उसमें amount is also written in your in your WhatsApp also I will send, and
fine.
you will be just have to deposit this 4,000 something, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry much. Tell me
Okay.
something else.
Uh,
So
That's it.
how many of you want to become the member? Please tell me. You all are doing the program in the training, but do you really want to be the trainer for your lifetime? Because being a trainer, I think, is a privilege basically for the lifetime. I have seen for everyone, right?
Right, sir. Right, sir. I want to become.
So
Definitely.
just think of and try to become.
Sure, sir.
You see the total amount you have to give. I'm just reading the news. It is 4,779
Yeah.
with GST. 4,779. Sudeep Jaiswal, you can download the form, fill it, and sign a check of 4,779 and send it to ISTD.
Right, sir.
You will get the life membership.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
And you will
I'll
get
do
a number of life membership 2021.
Okay.
So you 2021, the first decade, sorry, third decade of 21st century. So you become the life member of ISTD,
Yeah.
right? And I will
Right,
urge you all people to come and attend the 27th panel discussion and seminar, right?
Right, sir.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
If there is no question, then I will close. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. See you.